The following is a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about them Cowboys?
Yeah!
Go Cowboys!
Let's go, baby!
Are you ready for a break?
Yes.
Are you ready for a break?
Absolutely.
Ready for a break?
Yeah, and so much for that.
It's time for The Break on DallasCowboys.com.
We were on the break!
With Ambar Garcia, Bryan Broaddus, Voch Lombardi, and Derek Eagleton.
It is Wednesday, October 29th, 2025, Season 21, Episode number 68. Welcome to the latest edition of The Break, live from the SWBC Mortgage Studios at the Star. We're presented by LG. LG is the world's #1 OLED TV brand for 11 years and counting. See why at LG.com/OLED Evo. And if you haven't noticed, it has started to get a little bit cool here in the Dallas-Fort Worth area because Voch acting like we in a polar vortex. And so, you know, it's getting a little bit cool out here, a little nippy.
No, I'm just from Mississippi. I'm just from Mississippi. I don't know what a polar vortex is. I've only seen snow twice. I just know.
You've only seen snow twice?
I've only seen snow like
really
2-3 times, something like that. I'm from Natchez. It don't snow a lot in Natchez.
Oh, wow. It snows more than that in Dallas. You've been in Dallas now for what?
365 days in the snow once.
Oh, yeah, you were in the Houston area.
Yeah.
It don't snow in Houston.
It don't snow in Houston at all. It's hot in Houston.
Yeah.
So in Natchez, I remember everybody thought the world was going to end in 1999 in New Year's, and it snowed that day. I was a baby. It snowed that day, and everybody was like, oh, my God, it's snowing in Natchez. The world's going to end for real. That was a conversation. Yeah. And it snowed.
You remember that conversation?
I remember that one. And it snowed 3 times, and it also iced over, and it kind of snowed a little bit in Houston. So
we do ice.
I've seen snow 3 times.
Okay. 3
times. So I don't know what a polar vortex is. You're a worldly man where you go out.
I move around.
You go out on the West Coast, Colorado, and ski and stuff.
I have done that.
Of course you have.
I have done that.
Because you're a wealthy man.
No, I did that when I was a young man and I didn't have a lot of money. Me and the wife just decided we were gonna go do skiing in Colorado.
I just got here, Derek. I've been broke my whole life, but I'm gonna go skiing at some point.
Well, we'll take it in steps. We got you to D Lincoln Prime, and we'll keep
Let me
moving
tell you about D Lincoln.
We'll keep moving from there.
That cost a ski trip.
It does.
What you did.
We got him that meal. Now we keep moving.
I ran that one up.
We'll keep getting him more culture as we go along.
For about 3 days for what you ate.
Boy, I was $1,000 by myself. Appreciate it,
like,
Jerry.
give me one of those.
Hey, Jerry, let me tell you something. You ain't never did nothing wrong. Keep on taking us to D Lincoln. You ain't know. Look, trade Micah again, Jerry. Shouts out to you.
That means more money. More money for D Lincoln.
More money for D Lincoln.
All right, let's go. Amber Garcia, how are you today?
Jesus.
How are you today? You good?
You're going to break the table.
You good?
It's that coffee, man.
I know.
Well, the thing is, he has 2 rings, so it's either hand. Like guys, every time you hear a noise, a bang on the table, that's just Derek and his rings hitting the table.
I'm very passionate about one.
My favorite one. I wish Beam could take this camera, this one right here, and zoom down on Derek's hand. When he's fighting calmly, he taps the table every word he says. He goes, "Well, the thing about when Michael Parsons and them, and I'm just like, he's gonna break this thing." And when Bryan yells at him, he really does this and start, hold on, Bryan, hold on. The hand signals, when it get loud, watch Ambar, Bryan's, and Derek's hand signals. I be kicking. I just turn in one direction. I don't use my hands.
like dropping bombs.
Yeah.
And then stepping
then
away.
walk away.
And then start smirking. And you're like, your little lips start moving.
Yeah, the little quiver.
This content, man. What's wrong with y'all?
All right, here we go. Let's talk a little bit about some Cowboys football. Let's start first with the safety position. Right now, Marquise Bell is the only safety it seems like that you have healthy at this point. What do we know at this point, Bryan? Are you hearing anything about Donovan Wilson and Wanye Thomas and their possible returns this week?
No, I have not heard anything about them. But there was something that I did hear, Derek, if you'll allow me a little latitude here. I heard that BB was available last week, that they could have used BB and they decided not to. It was a coach's decision on that they felt like that he was, talking to people in the organization. They were okay with BB being available, but they just didn't use BB from what I understand. So we'll see. That's something that coaches make decisions on players and they like continuity and things like that. So that was to me maybe a little bit when you're going into a game where you have the inside players that Denver had, you would think, okay, well maybe you want that those all 3 of your guys together. Let's we've been real honest on the show about this. The guards didn't play particularly well in that game, and the center didn't play particularly well. But Denver will do that to you. So, and I was asking also about Butler. I'm asking about his availability, and like he's another guy he's kind of like with Winfrey and some of these others, and Mingo, that they're waiting for an opportunity. Now, a lot of it has to do with moving guys on and off the roster, and coaches don't always feel comfortable with guys moving on and off the roster. But those were a couple right there that when you're kind of struggling in some spots, you're kind of going to yourself, okay, do we not want to see anything different? I know as a fan base, we want to see it different all the time. Yeah. But coaches are a lot different, and I'm not sitting there blaming coaches for it. I'm just saying that they get comfortable with players, and sometimes it takes a loss to be able to do that, to make a move and say, okay, let's try and incorporate. But with all these guys that Dallas have on these injured list, now it's about shuffling the roster, and maybe that's something that they just don't want to do right now. But the safety position, you mentioned, we saw a trade yesterday in the National Football League, with the safety being traded from Kyle Duggar going from New England to Pittsburgh. So teams are starting to kind of get an idea of maybe moving some guys around.
Brian, on the BB thing, and if you don't know, just tell me you don't know. Was it a situation where he was practicing, but he wasn't getting reps with the first team, and maybe that was a reason why the coaches said
that could very well be the thing that I was,
because I don't see a reason to not play him if he's
the reason I was gathering. I mean, I was just saying, I was saying, hey, I was asking some guys in the organization, I'd be like, well, what about your center this week? And they're like, well, center was available. We just chose not to use him last week.
I saw him doing stuff with Will Greer, and I thought that was kind of odd because when you're going to have someone that's going to go in and start, you're going to be
and coaches, and coaches, that's coaches. I'm not trying to say, it's when you start to talk about these players and their availability, and how they're, how do you incorporate them when things aren't going great? Sometimes you wonder. As I said, as a fan base, we're play this guy. There's a lot of other moving pieces involved. So it was a little bit surprising, but like I said, I worked in the National Football League a long time. Coaches get into a mode where they want to play certain guys, and they feel comfortable with that. I'm sure that we'll see BB back. Well, I know that wasn't your question, but it was, like I say, it's like anything else. We hear good all week, and then we get to Saturday, and it's not good. So that's what you're kind of probably running into with Wilson and a lot of these other guys.
I'm pretty sure there wasn't a single person that I talked to last week that said, hey, keep Brock Hoffman in. And this was hearing that he was all good this week, maybe, and with the expectation of him coming back. So my point is, why would you guys think that is the reason
continuity
why that happened?
It's just the continuity. I think a lot of it has to do with continuity of, like, you haven't had him playing games. You haven't. I mean, they probably felt like that, hey, that we are in a situation where, we're okay running the football. We've had, last week coming off a win against the Commanders, the way you played, there's that continuity factor there. Like I say, this week I think it'll be different. I think you'll have BB back in the lineup. But I guess, Derek and guys, what my point is to you is, we could talk about it looks good, and then it gets to the point where it doesn't, or something happens, or it's a coach's decision. I think right now your team's kind of in the mercy of, like, okay, are we comfortable with the guys we're playing with? There might be a point, too, where we come into with the defensive backs and stuff. If you've got guys like Carson available, if you've got Butler available, there might be a time where you want to think about playing those guys, whether it's continuity or not. It's just something maybe a little bit different that maybe could give you a little bit of a jump, a little bit of a spark.
Is there a possibility that maybe going into that game there was a thought that he's coming off a high ankle sprain?
Sure.
He's going up against some really, really good defensive front guys who are really powerful. Maybe this isn't the week for him to come back. Maybe it's a better option to let him go another week before we bring him back and keep the continuity that we currently are. That's our best shot of maybe dealing with that front.
All very believable.
And I'm just trying to figure out, like, what would be the thought process, because as you mentioned, like, if you tell me I can get BB back,
that's kind of where I was at right now. But there's, say coaches are a different breed, and I mean this, in respect. I don't mean this in any disrespect, but to me, if I'm a personnel guy and all of a sudden you're telling me that I could have one of my better linemen back, and we're going because Hoffman has done an admirable job.
Yeah. He does what you expect him to do.
But there is clearly a different level to this. So that's I don't have a great answer. That's other than my experience that coaches, especially coming off a win, coaches might be a little bit more like, hey, let's just ride with this and see what we got. And then the next week we'll adjust if we have to.
I think continuity is a tad bit overrated. This is coming from an ex-offensive lineman, a center that needed his help a whole bunch. I think better dudes is much more important than continuity. Yeah, I could be working with a guy all week and I kind of know how he gets down, but just a flat-out better guy makes me happier, makes me feel better about the guy lined up next to me. To Derek's point, we just trying to figure out this mystery of why that would be the case. It's interesting why you asked. I just kind of thought about it a little bit. That hasn't been what this coaching staff has done. Like as soon as CD was kind of ready, he was in there. As soon as Book was a little bit of kind of ready after 2 or 3 weeks or so, he went right back in there. Now BB's injury was a little more, it was bigger than theirs.
Yeah. Well, he was 6 to 8 weeks, and roughly that was going to be coming back after 6 weeks.
Right. Yeah. So that's my point. Like,
maybe
he's ready, but we can give him a little bit more time to make sure he's completely ready. Right.
People trip mode.
I totally understand that.
Yeah. All right. Real quick, I did want to, as we were talking about the safety position, though.
Sorry about
it's all good.
Sorry about
By the
that.
way, that was good. That was good information. I do want to go back though to last week's game. They had gotten to a point where they were really down on safeties throughout that game, as it had another guy go down. They ended up moving Reddy Stewart back to play a little bit of safety against Denver. What'd you see from him? Because we've talked about on the show, like, would you take one of the corners and possibly move them out to safety or back to safety in order to give you a little better coverage deep in the middle part of the field?
I mean, Reddy's a tackler, and that's kind of his appeal that'll make him.
Which he did come up and lay a boom on. I don't remember who that was, but it was a nice hit. Yeah,
and that's kind of what makes us feel like, okay, well, this is what Reddy would be good at. I don't think I was in a place to where I can look at Reddy and how he did and go, okay, well, Reddy should do this for the rest of the way. But if you have to rely on Reddy and that's kind of all you got, I don't even think you have a choice. And honestly, if we just keeping it a buck, how this defense has been playing, I don't think we're gonna see much of difference anyway, unless something else changes. So, ready as safety. Let's get ready for it. No pun intended.
Yeah, it just, to me though, you've got a couple of guys too. I was thinking that maybe off the practice squad that you were going to have a couple of different elevations, and with Zion Childress, I know he's played more slot corner, but he's kind of a safety, kind of a build guy. I think that's something that maybe he got some work, and then also too with Julius Woods. I thought that the elevations were going to be those guys as opposed to the elevations that you got last week. Obviously, they felt comfortable that if they had to, and nobody in the game nobody going into a game feels like that. Oh, we're going to lose 2 safeties in this game, and here we go, kind of a thing. But the way the safety group was a little light going in, I thought we'd at least see one of those guys as elevations, but we didn't. And so now they're kind of in that point where they're still pretty light, but we haven't heard about any moves. We haven't heard about them working anybody out. So maybe to your point, Derek, that you're going to see Wilson and those guys back this week.
So I don't know, but how bad are like migraines? I never had migraines, but like
I've heard. I've never experienced it like that, but I have my sister-in-law.
Yeah.
She gets the kind of migraines that literally will put you on your butt for a couple days. Like, I've heard they can get so bad to where you literally cannot stand to be around light. And I don't know how, obviously I don't know the severity of one-year situation, but I've heard they can get so bad to where trying to go out and play a contact football game seems like that could be a little more than you can handle.
Amber, what you think? Because we just over here talking.
Oh wow, how kind of you!
That's what I'm saying.
The word and time
I
to
throw
talk.
you the alley. I felt
how kind.
I felt like you was ready to talk. What you got?
We bring in Dr. Garcia for the psychological aspect.
This is the Amber. Touch on any topic you want to touch on. Well, go ahead, please.
No, I'm having a conversation here with chat with the chat that allows me to talk
talk
through
to this chat
typing.
way too
So
What they talking about? They ain't talking about
You talk to this chat way too much.
Let me have a talk with. Go ahead.
no, but with the migraine stuff, it's like initially your initial reaction is like, man, surely they have some type of medicine or something for it. But it
Not
is.
always, yeah.
I've never dealt with migraines, but we all have dealt with headaches, and just imagine that 100 times worse, intensified. So. Now, how many days does that actually last? I don't know. I couldn't speak to that. But people here are asking, and these are topics that we already discussed. Bryan did the whole rant about the the defense.
The whole rant?
Yeah, the whole rant yesterday about the defense and the hiring process of that. People are were asking about that as well. And then people asking too, are we buyers or sellers at this point with the trade deadline coming up very soon? And after hearing Jerry talk, but at the same time, you can never fully trust what Jerry says because sometimes
can't.
he'll say something and then he'll surprise you with something else.
By the way, y'all heard his answer on when they asked him about linebackers and going to get it. He was like, "No, absolutely not, but maybe so." It's like that's
We're not really
that's the
interested, but
point.
we looking.
I think Jerry sometimes is just like I don't want to paint myself into a corner, but I got to give this answer. And I do think Jerry's a bit of a showman too. So it's all of that combined. You look, if Jerry's talking right now at this time of the year, you probably can only believe a little bit of what he's saying because some of it may be for the purposes of people in the locker room. Some of it may be for the purposes of other teams. I mean, there are a lot of different factors where you use the media to get messages out. So I would just say slow down a bit on whatever Jerry's saying and watch what's happening. Watch what happens. That's more of an indication because it's not necessarily what's being said. Just my opinion.
I agree with that.
All right,
but if you had to say real quick before we go to break, buyer or sellers?
For the right player, I will buy. But not 2 first-round picks, Bryan.
I don't think the Cowboys want to move any work unless the right buyer is buying. You know what I'm saying? I don't think they just have to move to work. I think they're waiting on somebody special to, break it down and sell it out there in the street.
I think teams are going to make them potential sellers.
Teams are not going to make them potential sellers?
Teams are going to make them because they're not going to get what they want out of this. So if Dallas is going to do anything, they might be a seller.
Personnel, man, let me ask you. I'm sorry.
I was gonna say. I know we have to go, but I wanted to ask because I've seen a lot of people talk about Trevon Diggs, and we don't know the full situation. But
don't know about one Diggs. Yeah.
But yeah, it's still a mystery. But people have been floating around this idea of like, oh, maybe they're saving him for a trade. Blah 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 blah. So
they waiting for us to cut him, and then they gonna get him. Brian, may I ask you something? Personnel, man.
They sent you to break.
Have you ever, because we got Cardinals after this, have you ever been in a situation, front office or whatever, right, where an offer for a player would be like a 2?
Sure.
But for the Cowboys and how they negotiate, you're going to have to give us a 1 to get it. Do teams have different prices per players and stuff like that?
You pretty much you're pretty much up front. You just try and let teams know what you're going to move a guy for.
Like, oh, you traded Parsons and you want this guy. I want both of them picks. And
see, the reason I say this real quick is because I think Dallas wants to trade. I really do. I think the other NFL teams are not going to allow them to trade. And I mean because Dallas, I think, specifically wants guys, a couple of different guys. And I don't think the league is going to allow them. I don't think that those teams are going to trade their guys.
Be clear when you say the league, not the NFL office.
No.
Yeah, I just want to be clear because that could be a
collusion.
No. Other teams are going to prevent Dallas from probably doing what they want to do. That's what I'm saying.
You know something else as a part of that, I heard this point, and I think it makes a lot of sense. I don't remember who was saying it, but they were like, also the part of this is there's so much parity in the NFL right now that it takes a little bit longer for teams to get to a point where they're like, well, we're kind of out of it.
The trade deadline needs to be moved back 2 more weeks.
Yeah, they still feel like they're in it, even though maybe they're not. Maybe they are. Maybe they're not. There's some teams that might say, does Dallas really still feel like they're still in it? But Dallas feels like they're still in it. So you're not as willing to give up a big piece if you feel like you're still in it for this year.
But look at New England. New England traded away 2 defensive pieces yesterday to a team that's 6-2.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So they're New England's playing we're selling, but we're also getting ready for us to buy. if we have to.
New England couldn't fat.
Does that also happen too? Because and again, this
Coaches
gets new coaches that are like, this guy that the team may have thought was a great player before. They don't necessarily fit what we're trying to do, so they're expendable for us. We've already found other guys we think can fill.
Absolutely, it is. But like I say, I think that I think other teams around the league. I think Dallas wants to be aggressive.
So, is there a player right now on the Cowboys that you're like, that would be interesting trade bait if the Cowboys wanted to dangle them out there?
Osa just got new money, so probably not him.
Mm-hmm.
But if he ain't getting new money, I think he'll be a type of guy that I'm thinking about.
I hate to bring this one up, but if
we ain't talking about Pickens, man. Don't even talk about Pickens, man. Don't say
if you're not willing to do anything though, and this might be the best chance. If you can somehow get back a 2 out of that, then you might have to think about it. Because if you're not willing to tag him or to sign him, you might have to get what you have to get right now. The best value for him could be right now, but you have to make that determination. I don't want to particularly do it. I totally agree with everybody out there. But as you look at team building, if you have no intention of doing that and you can get something back more than you gave up, you have to look at that.
Yeah, for me on that one, that wouldn't even be an option. My only option if I wasn't going to have him here on a long-term deal would be to tag him, because I still have the option if I tag him to trade if I want to trade.
He
right?
gonna be here.
Right? You can trade if you have him on a tag, right?
Yeah, you can.
So my thought is the only thing I'm considering right now is either a long-term deal or I defer the decision by tagging him. Those are my only two. I would not trade him right now. I just think after what happened with Micah, I just think it's too much involved in trading another player that's just showing up for you and playing really well for you. I get it, but I'm just saying I personally would not do that.
Oh, I know. I totally get it. But you have to think about, you have to take the emotion out of it right now.
Yeah.
You have to take that emotion. If you're not willing to do what Derek wants you to do, then you have to owe it to yourself to sell at the highest value you can sell.
Yeah.
Whether it sounds terrible to do, but you trust me, when you're sitting in that room and you think like, we just gave up a 3 for this guy. He played great for us. We weren't very good this year. We just got a 2 back for him. That's smart business right there.
Well, everyone in the chat, most of the people, they're willing to sell. They're all sell. And I was laughing earlier. I cackled because you have the bad rep of being now
cheap.
Discount Derek. Dollar Tree Derek.
Hey, man.
So it cracks me up every time.
For a 9th round pick is cheap.
Hey, man. I'm trying to hold on to my picks, man. I want my picks. You can change a whole defense with 4 first-round picks over 2 years. You can completely flip this defense. Anyway, we're going to go to break. We're going to go to break. We're going to come back. We'll dive into the Arizona offense versus the Dallas defense. We'll be back. DallasCowboys.com radio.
How's it going? You see that Cowboys game?
Oh, I watched. Been seeing some good things.
Totally. They have some talent.
Yup, some great talent.
And they got some fight.
Hoping this is the year.
Me too. Oh, I'm Cody, by the way.
I'm Travis.
Nice to meet you, Travis. Go Cowboys.
Go Cowboys!
Make a new friend based solely on their shirt choice. What would you like the power to do? Bank of America, the official bank of the Dallas Cowboys. Copyright 2025 Bank of America Corporation.
If you shout, "How about them Cowboys?" you have that undeniable passion that's the heart of Cowboys Nation. And if you like to drink Dr. Pepper, you love the unique blend of its 23 flavors. Together, your one-of-a-kind fandom paired with the one-of-a-kind taste of a delicious ice-cold Dr. Pepper is the game day lineup that can't be beat. Better yet, gather your Cowboys and Dr. Pepper fan friends to watch the next game and crack open a delicious ice-cold Dr. Pepper for everyone. The wins will be even tastier. It's a pepper thing.
It's the official men's skincare brand of the Dallas Cowboys, Jack Black. And right now, Cowboys fans can get 15% off their $75 order. Plus, because every deal needs a playmaker, your order will include a free 5-piece skincare set and free shipping. The Jack Black Playmaker is 4 of Jack's favorites and a full-sized intense therapy lip balm. Make a play for the Playmaker at getjackblack.com/Cowboys with the code CowboysVIP. That's getjackblack.com/Cowboys with the code CowboysVIP.
I'm home.
Hey, Mom, before you ask, I've done my homework and the dishwasher's unloaded.
Nice. Hey, can you...
Hey, hon, yes, I've got the finale ready to play. Here's your wine.
Wow.
Isn't it nice not having to ask? We think so. That's why if there's a network interruption, AT&T will proactively credit you for a full day of service, guaranteed. Credit for fiber downtime lasting 20 minutes or more, or for wireless downtime lasting 60 minutes or more caused by a single incident impacting 10 or more towers. Restrictions and exclusions apply. See att.com/guarantee for details.
Back to the break.
We're going to have a podcast and not talk about football.
Choose perfection. Choose LG OLED Evo. Check out the best TV in the game at LG.com.
Welcome back. It is the second segment of the Break Live from SWBC Mortgage Studios at the Star. I actually think that's a really good idea, Voch. One day we ought to just have a show where we don't talk about anything related to football.
I think that'll be fire.
It would actually be really
I think sometimes people get tired of, and this segment is brought to you by blockchain.com.
I was going to that before we get to the football.
I think some people get like
I'm a professional. Let me do this.
Fatigued.
I think you got something with blockchain going on.
He does. He got a side deal.
Secretly.
Side gig.
I got a little something, you know what I mean? You know what I mean? But no, I think
Check
one
out
day
that YouTube channel.
I think one day in the offseason, I really love the fire pit thing y'all did
at camp?
At camp or whatever.
Yeah, five-side chat.
Let's
Is that
just
what we call it?
Yeah.
I don't know what I'm calling. Well, let's just thank y'all for giving us money for it. But let's just sit around and just talk about stuff and not get canceled around.
We can do it in the off season. We can definitely.
I think that'll be hard. That'll be fire.
We'll do it.
I want to be around for that one.
All right, let's go. Arizona offense versus Dallas defense. Talk about it.
Man, Bryan Broaddus, I know something interesting about them characters, man. You know, we've been watching film on the Cardinals for a couple years now.
Yeah.
And something that kind of jumped out to me, you know, Kyler Murray is one of them dynamic characters. You know, he run around, throw the ball, got a little arm on him for being so little bitty. Sometimes they move the pocket on purpose. Sometimes he moves it because he can't see. That's all right. Mm-hmm. One thing that I found interesting this year, Bryan, and it made me go back and think about past years of the Kyler Murray administration is if he ever got into trouble, he can lean on his run game.
He could.
He'll lean on his run game, Bryan. And it's kind of some pieces that's keeping him from doing that this year.
Sure.
One of them is James Conner. That was his lead back.
Yes, sir.
He's hurt now. And then they had another guy, Trey Benson, that we liked the whole bunch.
We sure did.
He's hurt also. But I think one of the biggest pieces, though, Bryan, is that the cat that was scheming and drawing it all up, he worked for us now. Mm-hmm. That might be why we so good in the run game. They don't seem to have a direction in the run game. Their run game stuff looks a little soulless, and I don't think they got an offensive line that's really gonna overcompensate for the lack of scheme with their talent. Mm-hmm. So if you lacking runners, you lacking bodies on the offensive line, and you're lacking, super talented, running back, Bryan, I think it could be a hard time for them to run the football. I start with running the football because that's how teams been beating out the Cowboys, recently. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? But I just want to add a little bit of context to this because I think I've been irresponsible. These past few weeks, I've been breaking down these teams as other teams have been putting film on them. I need to break this down in a real Cowboys context. They haven't been good at the run, but this will be a good week for them to beat the hell out of you because that's just kind of who the Cowboys are. We'll talk about the pass in a minute. Bryan, what you think about the run game stuff? So
yeah, I think that you're onto something here. I think Drew Petzik, their coordinator, I think they do miss Clayton Adams. I think there's some elements that you still see the Arizona Cardinals try. It is very similar to how Dallas runs the football with the pullers, using the tight ends, trying to get movement one way and then running the ball back the other. I think the biggest difference here is you mentioned the lack of James Conner not being, but their quarterback is going to run the football when given opportunity. Yes. And so to me, that's you're going to see some elements of the pulling, the trapping, things that Arizona has done in the past. They just don't do it with the creativity that I think that they had with Clayton Adams being there. And so to me, this where Dallas needs to win in this game and win defensively is through penetration. Yeah. Because the one thing that we've shown as Dallas runs the football, the way they struggle the most is when they get guys up the field. If you go back and watch the way the Colts and the Packers played against this running game for Arizona, they attacked it. They attacked it downhill. They attacked it with their linebackers. Their defensive linemen were able to get upfield. Arizona had some problems with handling teams that had those linemen and linebackers that had the penetration. They couldn't do their pull games. Their game, instead of getting blockers to the edge, it kind of got wadded up, and now the back was out there by himself dealing with 2 or 3 different defenders because they couldn't get things done that way. So the challenge for Dallas this week is to play downhill and to play it in an attacking way. Don't don't sit back. And the sad thing a little bit about Dallas is we've seen people crack toss, movement, down blocks, get linemen up on second level guys. Boy, that's been a huge problem. I'd like to see Dallas this week play downhill against this Arizona Cardinal offense, especially running the football.
Bryan, they like to run a lot of motion there, but
they do.
I don't think they run motion like Cowboys run motion.
Nope.
Like 2025
right.
Cowboys. 2025 Cowboys run motion to gain some information. We run motion to kind of misdirect and move some guys around. I think they run motion kind of like Mike McCarthy used to run motion. I know people say gonna be talking about Mike McCarthy, but that's just the thought that I had. Like they'll move a guy just to put him in another spot. Just to be in another spot. There's no greater reason for why they're motioning. So what they'll do is they'll move around Trey McBride, the tight end, which is their main pass catcher, Bryan, or they'll move around Michael Wilson for the most part, slot receiver type guy. But it's not like they're moving him for a greater cause downfield.
Right.
So if I'm Kenneth Murray, and I'm saying his name in particular because motion's been a big deal for him, I'm going into this game with the mindset that their motion is not for me. Their motion is for them. In Cowboy land, we run a motion to see what y'all fixing to do, what y'all are going to do, so we can react off of that. Right. I don't think the Cowboys are going to get misdirected this game. I think what the Cardinals want to do is like straight up and down. Clayton Adams, who was on the draft show with us, Bryan Broaddus, he always talked to us about it. He says, I'm not going to make my guys do anything that they're not good at. Right. And he's been doing that here. But it seems like the Cardinals' offensive line doesn't match what they're trying to do.
Right.
They might be an offensive line that moves really well, but their guy now wants them to kind of come off and hit people.
Right.
That's not what they're good at. So they end up passing the ball, Bryan. They end up throwing the ball a whole bunch. Kyler Murray get 40-some passes, and if Kyler Murray throws the ball 40 passes against you, you beat him.
Right.
This Cowboys defense, though, Bryan Broaddus, I think it's going to be a lot of Trey McBride, and it may not be a whole bunch of Marvin Harrison Jr. because they just have it on the same page in general. Right. But like I said, this would be one game where they try to get back on track versus Cowboys defense.
No, I think you're absolutely right. The thing that you need to kind of think about, though, too, is Dallas has struggled with, and I'm going back to the running game a little bit. Mm-hmm. Dallas has struggled with tight ends on the edge that block them. Mm-hmm. Their defensive ends have struggled one-on-one with tight ends. If Arizona gets you blocked up with their tight ends in this game, I hate to say this, you deserve to lose.
Yeah, for sure.
Because they are not a very good blocking unit when it comes to that. They struggle, and that's even McBride. I mean, he is a pass catcher down the field, make big plays, guys. He is not a great blocker. But if all of a sudden we look up and Arizona's tight ends are blocking your edges, now you're really, really in trouble because this is not one of those. Dallas needs to win the edge play this week against these tight ends. It is a must because if these tight ends just don't get any kind of sustain or push when you watch them block. But if they are against Dallas, then Dallas is in a world of trouble.
Real quick, talk to me about Trey McBride as a pass catcher. Looking at Dallas and thinking about it from the standpoint of they're limited at safety.
Sure. Yeah.
Their linebackers aren't great in coverage. Yeah. How do you manage somebody like McBride?
Tell him exactly what needs to be done here.
So Trey,
because I know you know. I know.
So Trey McBride,
you're setting this up for him because you know he's ready.
Oh no, I know. I've seen this.
I got some method this.
I've seen this act.
Yeah, Bryan.
I've seen this
Bryan,
act.
You ain't no good. Yeah, nah, man. Trey McBride's not a guy that's just a safety valve, dump the ball down guy. Yeah. Like Trey McBride brings two other elements to the party. He brings yak to the party. Mm-hmm. So if you don't tackle him, he's gone, just like Kraft was with Green Bay there. Mm-hmm. But also Trey McBride gets downfield. Like he's a deep over the middle guy. When the Cardinals are passing the football, they don't throw outside the numbers a whole bunch. That's really like a bad thing for them. You should be able to throw the ball anywhere, but the Cowboys ain't great over the middle. So I think in a double advantage for them, they like to get busy over the middle, and they're really good at it with him. They'll run those wide receivers up high, and they'll just drop him down the zone somewhere, catch the ball, and he'll go run like 10 more yards. But I got a question for the table, if y'all don't mind. And the chat can answer this as well.
Can I ask you a question? Can you hold that question for us to get this final break, and then you get that question?
Can we get to break, please? Like,
who you talking to? I'm talking to
Stay
Derek.
on time.
Derek
Look at the
question. I know what time it is. It's 34.
Look at the time.
All right, so we're gonna take a break. When we come back,
you might criticize his hosting ability.
Voch is gonna have a great question.
Threw me the alley.
He's gonna have.
Y'all gonna have to hear it on the other side of the break.
We're gonna have a great question after we get back from the break.
On
We'll be back. DallasCowboys.com radio.
I'm home.
Hey, Mom, before you ask, I've done my homework and the dishwasher's unloaded.
Nice. Hey, can you...
Hey, hon, yes, I've got the finale ready to play. Here's your wine.
Wow.
Isn't it nice not having to ask? We think so. That's why if there's a network interruption, AT&T will proactively credit you for a full day of service, guaranteed. Credit for fiber downtime lasting 20 minutes or more, or for wireless downtime lasting 60 minutes or more caused by a single incident impacting 10 or more towers. Restrictions and exclusions apply. See att.com/guarantee for details.
If you can't be at the stadium, there's no better way to watch your Cowboys than on an LG OLED Evo TV. That's because everything you see is more lifelike. Every play, every hit. I mean, you might as well be on the sidelines. That's how clear it is. It's all thanks to LG's legendary technology. Perfect black, over 8.3 million self-lit pixels. No one comes close. LG OLED Evo is the best TV in the game for a reason. See for yourself at lg.com/OLED Evo.
It's the official men's skincare brand of the Dallas Cowboys, Jack Black. And right now, Cowboys fans can get 15% off their $75 order. Plus, because every deal needs a playmaker, your order will include a free 5-piece skincare set and free shipping. The Jack Black Playmaker is 4 of Jack's favorites and a full-sized intense therapy lip balm. Make a play for the playmaker at getjackblack.com/Cowboys with the code CowboysVIP. That's getjackblack.com/Cowboys with the code CowboysVIP.
How's it going? You see that Cowboys game?
Oh, I watched. Been seeing some good things.
Totally. They have some talent.
Yup, some great talent.
And they got some fight.
Hoping this is the year.
Me too. Oh, I'm Cody, by the way.
I'm Travis.
Nice to meet you, Travis. Go Cowboys.
Go Cowboys!
Make a new friend based solely on their shirt choice. What would you like the power to do? Bank of America, the official bank of the Dallas Cowboys. Copyright 2025 Bank of America Corporation.
From the field to the festivities, Lucchese embodies the essence of luxury and tradition. Handcrafted with meticulous precision, each pair offers unmatched comfort and style. Stand tall while you're tailgating or cheering in the stands with the Dallas Cowboys collection by Lucchese. Shop the collection today at the Lucchese store at the Star in Frisco or online at lucchese.com. Lucchese, the official boot of the Dallas Cowboys and Dallas Cowboys cheerleaders.
Back to the break.
AT&T connecting changes everything.
Welcome back. It is the final segment of the break live from SWBC Mortgage Studios. At the start, we're talking about the Arizona offense versus the Dallas defense. And just before break, Voch had a phenomenal question that he wanted to pose to the table. And so we are going to make room and let Voch have the spotlight. Voch, you're up.
Luckily, pressure don't bother me like that. I got a question for the table, for the panel, and even for the chat if y'all want to get down on this, right? For the Cowboys defense, any game in general, whatever game y'all want to say, would you rather play the starting quarterback or the backup quarterback? Any game.
Wait, I don't understand.
Would you rather play a starting quarterback
if
or
the game plan, would you rather the starter or the backup?
You're saying
if you're the Cowboys and you coaching defense, would you rather coach that defense versus the starting quarterback?
And I get a full week of practice knowing I'm going to give me the backup, of course, right?
Backup quarterback? Starting quarterback? Which one?
What's the reasoning behind it? Go ahead, because you're about to like.
Give you context
this better be give like some brain buster type of.
I'll give you context if you answer.
Obviously, the only right answer.
Look, if I'm playing against the Cowboys, there's no way I'm saying give me Dak Prescott over Joe Milton. So
I feel
that's
some people like Cooper Rush more than Dak. Brian.
Yeah, we saw how those.
This is the game it's working out for you that you're going to play the starter.
It's pretty interesting. Yeah. Kyler Murray had a foot injury, so he's kind of been up and down. But Jacoby Brissett been throwing the football everywhere.
Yeah, this might be one of those games you get lit up if Jacoby Brissett was.
Yeah, but here's the flip side of that. I worry about Kyler running.
There's
running.
We talking about Cowboys defense now.
I understand that, but with Cowboys defense, him running is still a problem. That's a big problem.
I'm not worried about Kyler Murray's little bitty feet. I'm worried about him throwing the ball downfield because it's either handing the running back the football or throwing the ball downfield. That's what I'm worried about.
But do you not remember early in the season they couldn't stop running quarterback? That's
early in the season. We in week 9, and what I'm saying
have they gotten better at it?
What I'm saying recently,
I think it's been established that it doesn't matter.
Right.
No, it matters. No, I think it matters. The issues you run into now is run game and quarterback throwing the football against you. We play a running quarterback every single week. Those teams don't opt to run the ball against us.
Right, but that's the point. They don't have to. You can choose how you want to do it.
Because they throw the football against us, right?
But by the way, sure. I think the point is, yes, you can choose that. Mm-hmm. But that doesn't mean if you choose the other, which is we're going to let our quarterback run all over you, there's nothing that suggests that Dallas is somehow going to stop that, right?
Why would you say that the Cowboys are choosing let's just say choosing
No,
to
Cowboys ain't choosing anything.
Sure.
The opponent is choosing, are we going to throw the ball this week?
So let me ask
are we
you
going to hand off to our running back? Is our quarterback going to run?
So
I don't think there's nothing that suggests that the Cowboys have dictated what's going to happen to them defensively.
So why do you think the past few weeks these quarterbacks that get busy running around, Jaden Daniels, Justin Fields, guys like that, all of them can run. Bo Nix, we were scared of Bo Nix. Why do you think they chose to throw the football against us more than likely?
My personal belief, I think it could be a lot of things, but I think it
could
be. It could literally be. Hey, I want my quarterback to get some confidence throwing the ball.
I think
this week we gonna throw the ball.
No, I don't think. You want to know what's
I got my running back that used to play for the Dallas Cowboys, and he told him buckle their seatbelt, so we're gonna run the ball. Like I think it might be other things.
Have they got beat by a running quarterback yet?
Week 1.
That's what I'm saying.
That's about it.
It's been week 1. Yeah.
But that's also because again, teams can choose. Like, let me ask you this: when has a team wanted to do something?
We shouldn't worry about Kyler Murray running. Then, really,
I don't think teams have chosen
because he won't. He'll throw.
You think this is a game where he gets right through?
Oh yeah, no, it's sad to say.
All these quarterbacks, throwing the football. They throw the football.
We had Mark Schlereth on yesterday, who lives in Denver, who is a Bronco, played for the Broncos. He's amazed at how well the Broncos offense looked. He said the Broncos offense really isn't that good.
Well, we've seen this before.
And that's what I'm saying. That's the problem. That's the problem. That's the problem.
All these quarterbacks that run around lately, they haven't been running against you. We can pick and choose what the reason, that
there's no need. You as a coach, you would choose and prefer not to have your quarterback running.
I don't think that changes this week. Honestly, I don't think that changes this week. I think
even if that's the best thing they do?
The Cardinals?
Yeah.
I think they want to throw the football. I think at their core, they're a throwing football team. Because if we take a look, I said this earlier, Brian, if we talk about Broncos and Panthers, they're a run team. They want to run the football.
Yeah.
That's probably why they beat the hell out of you in the run game like that. But passing is what the Cardinals want to do. And I'm saying in this situation, a team that wants to throw the football, Jacoby Brissett looks much better as a passer of the football. Versus Green Bay and all these games. Yeah. He looks much better as a passer of the ball than Kyler Murray does. Kyler Murray still gets weird looking.
So they might choose to run it with Kyler Murray, though.
So they'll probably run with
right. That's my point.
Yeah.
But Brian, I think just based on the question I'm asking, I would much rather play Kyler. I could live with Kyler. So let's talk about Philadelphia Eagles then, right?
Right.
Jalen Hurts ran the ball, couldn't throw the ball, right?
Right.
They'll put up 20-some-odd points against 24 points. I live with 24 points. I'm begging for 24 points recently. But when teams are throwing the football, 40 burgers is dropped on you. I'll let Kyler Murray a little bit of that run around the ball.
What happens when they do both?
Huh?
What happens when they do both?
When have they done that?
Weekend.
When?
Last weekend they did both.
No.
They
handed the ball
pass
to
game and they were successful in the run game.
They handed the ball to the running back. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Design run.
They were 50. They were 50-50 on run pass last week.
Yeah,
their numbers were.
They were getting chunk plays in the run game and in the pass game.
Bo Nix scrambling
By the
ain't
way,
really whooping.
I set you up to, before we get out of here, I set you up to how to play McBride, and you chose to go another route.
What would you do?
I play Bland. I talked about playing Bland on him.
I'll host a show. What would you do, Brian?
I would play Bland. I tried to throw you the ball. I thought you were going to say.
That's actually what I thought you were going to say too.
I did too, but he had to jump up on the stage and talk about which backup quarterback he wanted to play against.
Derek, this is what Brian.
I was expecting some.
I was expecting like you to say, "Hey, play Bland."
Brian wanted me to go, and we had to take a break and everything. That's why I'm better hosting the show. What Brian wanted me to
do. You've been taking shots all day today.
You want my job?
I host a show and I do great. I'm just saying we're different. What Brian wanted us to do is for us to say Jacoby Brissett throwing the football makes Trey McBride so much more dangerous. That's what Brian wanted us to say. You know what I mean?
I wanted you to say that the way that I would play against him to stop him would be
to put my corner on.
And then we talk about Brissett. So man, I had to take a break. I had to fuss with Ambar and Derek. He had to vouch for Kyler Murray. So I'm vouching for Kyler Murray on this.
Look, you can say what you you want about Kyler throwing the ball.
Your voice keep cracking. What's wrong
I know.
with you, man?
I watched.
You
I
called me
watched.
out yesterday.
You were cracking the other day. What are you talking about?
My voice cracked one time yesterday. He hasn't cracked 7 times since
I
you
watched
said nothing.
Russell Wilson get down throwing the ball.
That's my
That's
part of my point.
yeah.
I watched Bryce Young get down throwing
Shorter
the ball
guy.
against the Cowboys.
That's
So
part of my
you
point.
could say, my point is, the point I'm making is, you could say maybe that's not what Kyler does this week. There's nothing that suggests Kyler won't do it.
Kyler is versus
Because as you
defense,
said, Kyler's got a good arm.
versus this defense, Kyler is very much so capable of whooping you in the air because of this
Right.
defense. I think Jacoby is a better whoop you in the air guy than Kyler right now.
Yeah.
Great.
And the film is
But when you combine his ability to run and the fact that this team has given up a lot of passing yards and passing touchdowns to lesser quarterbacks, I think it's still more. I still would prefer not to have to deal with Kyler running. At least with Brissett, I know he's going to be in the pocket.
Debate team, Derek, all I'm saying is quarterbacks that run around, and you've played nothing but quarterbacks that run around.
Yeah.
That hasn't been.
They have not had to. They have not had
That
to.
hasn't been.
They have not had to.
That hasn't been what hurt you there. They hurt you in the air, and if it's rushing, they hand it to. It's 45. We can go. They hand it to the running back.
Before I have a chance to butt.
What I'm saying.
You get the last word.
So what I'm saying is they're gonna hand the ball to Bam Knight. We ain't say nothing about Bam.
Yeah, Bam Knight, right.
I mean, he run fast.
Yeah.
They're gonna hand the ball to Bam
A
Knight.
man named Bam runs fast.
Yeah.
I was expecting you to be like, he's a battering ram.
His name like Jacorius or something, like Zonovan or something, Zonovan Knight or something like that.
Like Bill.
It ain't Bill. It's something, you know what I'm saying? Bam gonna run the ball, and they gonna throw the ball with whoever's at quarterback. But if I had to pick who I would rather throw the ball against me, I think Kyler Murray has a better opportunity to throw the ball to us because he be missing with his eyes, and Brissett sees it a little
I'm
bit.
just gonna say I worry about Kyler Murray. I worry about Kyler Murray at AT&T Stadium. Kyler Murray is a guy.
He's going to tell you he never loses there.
He doesn't, and by going back to high school, and not only that, just from the standpoint of what he does, like he's one of those quarterbacks that's hard to manage when things are working for him, and that's this defense has not shown that it can make it hard for him, and that's where it worries me because he can beat you in a lot of different ways. All right. We appreciate you guys. We appreciate you guys, and I'm always gonna get the last word. That's what you get when you're the host.
Kmart or
Appreciate
Dollar
you
Tree?
guys.
Which one's the better deal? Kmart or Dollar Tree?
Appreciate you guys joining us. We'll be back tomorrow.
What's the best way to buy a
Lombardi,
TV?
Bryan Broaddus, Ambar Garcia. I'm Derek Eagleton. This has been The Break live on DallasCowboys.com radio.
This has been a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about this?